Hello guys.
Hello.
So now I want to tell you a story about Hansel and Gretel. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, in a faraway forest, there lived a poor woodcutter. He lived with his wife and their two young children. The boy was called Hansel and the girl was called Gretel. But the poor woodcutter was so poor, so he couldn't take care of the children anymore. One day, woodcutter's wife said to him that they cannot take care of the children anymore, so he have to take the children to the middle of the forest and leave them there. But fortunately for the children, they heard about their parents' plan. So the clever children came up with a plan to save themselves. One night, quietly, they collect some tiny pebbles and put it in their pockets. In the next morning, when their father took them to the middle of the forest, they dropped those tiny pebbles all along the way. So when their father left them in the forest, all they have to do is to follow those line of tiny pebbles all the way back home. Their parents were so surprised to see them back in the house again. They were planning to take the children to the forest again. The children were so scared because they didn't have any tiny pebbles. Hansel came up with a plan. He said that they can use bread of crumbs now. So, in the next morning, when their father took them to the forest again, they dropped those bread crumbs all along the way. But unfortunately, all the animals have eaten up all of those crumbs, so they couldn't find the way back home. They walk, and suddenly they saw a house. The house was made of candies, cookies, chocolates, and everything delicious. Because they were so hungry, those children were starting to eat up the house. But they didn't know that the house must belong to an old witch who loved to eat little children. When they are starting to eat up the house, the old witch show up and push them into the house. He locked Hansel in a cage and he told Gretel to turn on the oven. So when the oven is hot, he shall cook Hansel and eaten him. The poor Gretel was so scared, but he managed to thought of a plan to save his brother. So when the old witch bent to check the oven, Gretel gave her a big push from behind, and the old witch fell into the oven, and Gretel hugged her inside. Gretel was managed to save his brother Hansel, and then they collect all of the jewels that belonged to the old witch, and they managed to find their way back home. And then when they are finally managed to find their way back home, they give all of the jewels to their parents. Thanks to the clever children, the family was never poor or hungry again. Thank you.
Yay!